People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, on today's episode, we have an amazing guest. This guy is one of today's top illusion builders. He's a magician, an actor, a creator, a magic consultant, and now I'm happy to say he's my friend. Everybody, it's Ray Lum.
All
What's
right.
up, Ray?
Hey, Wes, how you doing, man? Hey, how come every time I hear your name, it makes me want to watch Star Wars?
Moss Isley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Well, hey, much props to you on your podcast. I have to give you a lot of props for that. I love people like you that just elevate the art of magic, and it's great what you guys are doing. So,
God bless
much
you.
Props.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, it started because we sold our television show, and then we were recording a new episode every single week and getting a new episode up every single week. And when they bought the show, I had 16 episodes in the can, and then it's like, all right, just wait, because you don't know if you're getting a season 2. You don't know if you're getting anything. So now let's wait. And I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs during a pandemic, and I'm like, Natalie, I have to do something. And I mentioned to her one night, you want to start a podcast? And that night, I started doing research. And
it was crazy.
Within 2 days, we were doing episode 1.
It was the next day. The next day. He's like, do you want to do a podcast sometime soon? I was like, okay. And I just thought it was something he was going to kick around for a while. And then the next day, he was like, hey, come here. Let's record a podcast. Okay. So, and here we are.
Here we are. With the amazing,
that's great.
With the amazing Ray Lum. Dude, I'm so excited about today. I don't know where to get started with you and your career and everything. So,
Ask away.
I'm a big Jackie Chan fan. Tell me about your dad and Jackie Chan.
Well, my dad was always he trained in Shaolin, and he's one of those guys that it's a funny story. My dad was one of those guys that always been around martial arts. All the people, Jackie Chan's team and friends, and he always was on the set, and he was always one of those guys that always knew every martial artist. So he was, this is a funny story. When I was a kid, my dad threw me into Shaolin. Like, Shaolin is kind of like Stanford University in martial arts. So my dad, when I was a kid, he threw me there, and being a kid, you feel like, oh man, he's sending me to jail, So when you're a kid, you end up hating your dad. You go, man, why'd he do this, And then more and more when I grew up, like in Shaolin, to give you a insight of it, it's kind of like, I think Americans will look at it as a torture camp, but it's not really a torture camp because all those, if you watch all those martial artists in movies, Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, Donnie Yen's mother, they all came from Shaolin. They all came from that training. So what I'm trying to say is, when you get thrown in there, what they do is they put you in a circle. I remember this vividly when I was a little kid. I think I'm like 8 years old, I think. It could be 7. Well, they put you in a circle, my first day of training camp. And they put you in a circle, and the master would have a bamboo stick in his back. And he'll walk around. He'll teach you 3 movements. And then you watch these kids fail each movement, and they get whipped in their hand. And then you come around, and I'm like the 7th one. I'm going, oh man, in my head, I remember this vividly. Oh man, I'm gonna get whipped, and all these kids are crying. Oh man, I don't want to be a punk. I need to man up. So I go, okay, these 3 movements. This is how you do it. So when I got back around to me, I did it, and next thing you know, I go, whoo, I didn't get whipped. So all these kids are crying, and then each day, they give you advanced moves. And then one time I failed, and I got whipped. But cry. And more I got whipped. And then I started to hate my dad. I go, wow, why'd he do this to me? Why'd he do this to me? So years and years growing up, I didn't get whipped. And then my brain starts absorbing each move and the philosophy of the move, the concept, every little movement, like it has meaning. Then the instructor, more and more, he'll give you more advanced moves, and then next thing you know, my brain just absorbs it, and next thing you know, I'm going, wow, he taught me 10 moves today, and I absorbed it, and I'm not getting whipped, and then wait a minute, I'm getting faster in my training. Wow, now I'm in tournaments. I'm beating up this guy, and I'm winning points and winning each tournament, and next thing you know, I'm going, wow, I'm absorbing this stuff. So then later on, when I talked to my dad, I said, damn, I love you for putting me to school. And now everything I do, I can absorb it. Like I can go through Tarbell courses, and then I go, oh, man, I'll pick this up. And next thing you know, I'll go into this book, and then next thing you know, I'm going, I can apply this martial art learning into magic arts, and then I'm going, wow, so taking that concept of that quick learning and you apply it to the magic arts, you go, man, if I didn't have this martial art training, I wouldn't become a builder, I wouldn't become a consultant, I wouldn't become a good performer, because it gives you that foundation, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. That's amazing. So your dad went through that school as well?
Oh yeah, he became a master, but he never taught though, because he didn't have the patient. I guess I'm like that too. I think my dad was a better performer than a teacher, because I think, and that's how Tommy Wonder is too. So you kind of see like these guys that are super good in what they do are not really good teachers, I mean, I can become a teacher, but then, how a lot of people go, why'd you open a martial arts school? I go, I don't know, because the concept of beating people up if they don't do good, it just don't fly here in the States,
But and that philosophy works.
Yeah,
No, it does work. I mean, in China, I saw a documentary with Rocco Solano going over to China and looking at the Chinese circus, and they were crying because they saw 7-year-old kids with dents in their head and bald spots from catching plates on their head. But they catch those plates, man. They are amazing athletes, and they suffer for their art.
Exactly. That's why if you watch, Norm Nielsen's my neighbor, and then I always ask Norm. I go, hey Norm, what do you think of these card manipulators? And he had this smirk. He never liked any card manipulations because he's the king of the king. If you think about card manipulation, Norm was the best of the best. Okay,
right.
And I said, Norm, what do you think of some of these manipulators? And I always ask him that. And he said, the only people that really caught my attention were the Koreans. He said, the Koreans, they really are good at what they do, and they take it a step further. And I go, that's it, huh, Norm? He goes, yes. And then I noticed, it's like the same martial art discipline. They applied that. So the moral of the story is, I think all magicians should go to Shaolin and train to get that foundation before they become a good magician, because that foundation, man, I mean, it really applied to me, and that's why it made me become a builder and a consultant, because of this foundation.
I just had a flash in my head of all these white-haired, overweight men in the Magic Convention, all trying to do Shaolin. That wouldn't work, Ray. You got to start them out young.
With the shaved head and the cue.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Dude, so what about your son? So have we passed it on to your son?
Oh, I wish. I mean, I'm welding in the shop. I say, son, come in. Let me show you this YouTube video of this little girl welding, and she's only 8 years old. Come on. I'm going to teach her how to weld. He goes, no, Dad, I'm going to play on my PlayStation 5. You just want to throw a piece of aluminum at him. You go, come on, son. Okay. Norm Nielsen's your neighbor. Norm said he wants to teach you carbon manipulation. Let me take you over there. You want to learn? No. I want to play Mortal Kombat. I go, kid, come on. And, but, I guess what I'm trying to do is, if you force somebody now, this generation is hard.
Right.
When you force somebody, they're going to rebel. So I'd rather him come to me and say, hey, Dad, I want to learn what you're doing. And then I'll teach him. But I don't want to force. I don't know. It's generations different. You know what I'm saying? It's not like before. Before what? I had a rock to play with, dude, and a stick.
Right. He's got PlayStation 5 and virtual reality goggles.
Yeah. Now these kids have, look at them, man. They have cell phones, have everything. I didn't have that, man. I got thrown in Shaolin. All I had was my biggest toy I had was a wooden dummy to play with,
Wow.
And it's different times. So I'm going, I will step back. If he comes to me, then I'll teach him everything. And sheesh, I could build him a whole show,
Golly.
Right now he doesn't want to do it, so.
Well, hopefully he comes around, because man, I'm just envious of your son. If I grew up in Las Vegas and Norm Nielsen was my neighbor, I mean, I'm out here in the middle of Virginia. There wasn't even a magic shop until I was in high school, within 100 miles of me. So it's like he's got all that right there, and it's just, I've seen it before though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right there, but it's all in what you want. He'll get girls, then he'll want a job, then he'll want to be really good at that job to get, bigger cars and better things, and then he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So your dad was on the Jackie Chan stunt team. Did you ever go see any of were they in the movies? Is your dad any of the Jackie Chan movies?
No, he was always in the background helping out.
Okay.
That's a funny story too. One day I was in the 90s. I was touring still. Man, those touring times were fun. I missed that. I remember one time my dad said, "Hey, why don't you come with me to China?" There's a funny story. He goes, "Yeah, we're gonna be on the set and I didn't know what set it was, right?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm going to Japan next. I'm going to Shanghai, so I'll stop by and visit you." And he goes, "Yeah, come on by." And I go, "All right." And then it's funny. We got to Hong Kong, and Hong Kong was the gateway of going into China. So I took this cab. I was on this cab for like days and hours. I don't know. When you keep going inside China and all you see is bamboo and rice fields, you're in trouble, because you go, man, where's civilization? All you see is bamboo. And next thing you know, I got to the set and was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Wow.
And that's when I had my hair, like, I didn't shave it yet. I had it all tied up in a bun. And I got off, it was past my waist too. And I got off the taxi and I was hanging out with my dad, and he said, "Yeah, hang out." And then here goes Chow Yun-fat and Michelle Yeoh walk by, and then oh crap, I'm sitting here going, what the? And then back then you didn't have cell phones, and you go, oh man, I want a picture. Crap. I go, where's my disposable camera? So I'm going. I was starstruck, and then the casting agent came up to me and said, "Well, you have long hair, and hey, I didn't know your dad is part of the crew, and I didn't know he has a son." And I'm going, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, she kept looking at me up and down, and I'm going, okay. And then she goes, tell you what, well, how you like to be an extra? I go, yeah, cool. And she goes, but, here's the restriction. I need to shave your head. I go, no, I've been growing my hair for years. I like to shave my head. And she goes, we'll give you $5,000 American money if you could shave it and give you a cue. And that's when I had a long cue, Now I got older, so it starts to get smaller. But back in the 90s, they shaved my head, and they gave me a roll and for $5,000.
Wow.
And then,
That's so awesome.
And then I flew back to the States, and then everybody says, wow, that guy looks like a movie star. And then I said, maybe I'll just keep it. And then when I start using it in my stage shows, and I go, my show is kind of like a martial arts. It's kind of like, if you ever see my stage show, it's kind of like Kung Fu Hustle. So I go, hey, it works with the show. Hey, I'll just keep it. And next, I just kept it. And it was just this crazy story.
Well, that's awesome, dude. And your look is totally different. There's not another Asian performer I know that has your look, where, you go to a magic convention, you can see other people that look like Kevin James, or you see people that want to be Copperfield. There are other Asian performers that I know of that have your look, man. That's awesome.
Well, here's another thing. That's why I work with tons of clients and I'm a consultant, because here's one thing. I can't steal their act, and they can't steal mine. So I'm kind of in that neutral state where that's why everybody comes to me. They go, hey, we know that Ray will never steal my stuff, and I know they will never steal. I will never steal their stuff. So it kind of works out, So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So just to name a few people that you've built illusions for: Piff the Magic Dragon, David Copperfield, Kevin James, and name some others.
Oh man, I fixed stuff for Lance Burton. The list is never ending. Enro Lee, the Copperfield of Korea. Dan White, Blake Boyd.
Mark Kalin and Ginger.
Yeah. I got their rights to do their the Fire Spiker. Jeff Hobson. The list is just never ending.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think everybody's jaw just dropped when they heard that list of names. I mean, that's who's who of magic right there.
Oh yeah, and now I'm getting all the rights for like Andre Cole stuff, like the Squeeze Box and Head Mover. Like again, Mark Kalin, Spiker and the Poster Printer. I got the rap illusion rights. So yeah, I mean, the rights are constantly being transferred to me because another thing about builders is kind of like if you notice, builders are like cars. There's Toyota, BMW. I want to be, when I open KMD, I wanted to be like Lamborghini and Rolex. I want people to get a prop and then have that feel like they're buying a Lamborghini and the quality. I want to, remember back in the days when you order something from Owen Magic and then you're waiting for it and you open that box and then when you open it, you swear there's a light that beams out there, and you go, God, look at this prop, Well, that's how I want people to, when they get a prop from me, I want them to have that feel. Because I remember when I was a kid, all I had, the most expensive thing I bought was the Owens Magic catalog, and looking through there, I go, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, and I just wanted to follow in that tradition.
Well, see, I don't have an eye. I have a new neighbor that moved in, and we're out here in the country, so he's 5 acres away, but he's got a big workshop, and he likes to weld and stuff, and I showed him some of your stuff. I don't have an eye for welds or what type of metal is better than another metal, but I have an eye for detail. And when you did your Fool Us bit, and your towel got bloody, and you made a shadow box, and you labeled it, and you put your ID badge in there, the artist badge, and you put your custom, KMD everything on there, and the date of the episode that aired, and I'm like, my artist badge is just hanging on a wall upstairs. Yours is, it's awesome. It looks like something out of a museum. You made it a museum piece. It's just awesome.
Well, everything I do, everything I touch, from my routining, my going into a event, a corporate event, everything I do, everything I touch, I want it to be, like Rolex,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has to be everything I do. I just want to make everything perfect. It's all about details. I tell people my props are like, I tell them it's layers and layers of details. So that's why, like, you see the Fool Us piece. Every little thing I do, it's just I try to put as much detail as possible from the hand to the airbrushing at the end.
Dude, that hand did look amazing. It looked great.
Thanks. Yeah. And a lot of work went into all that, from the stump to the hand. The lady that did it, Lisa, her dad worked on the movie Batman. She's a Hollywood makeup person, and she's just an artist at what she does. So, we spent days making the perfect hand, the perfect stump. It was just details beyond details, from the hair in the hand. We wanted to make it so perfect that it's lifelike.
So, I wanted to be a movie makeup artist before Magic. Terminator 2 came out when I was in high school, and it changed my whole trajectory in life. I was going to be a movie makeup artist, and I was like, all right, well, I'll go to school for marketing and be a magician. I've always loved it. But I saw everything going to CGI, and I'm like, I can't sit behind a desk for 80 hours a week. What is up with the hand? Do you have to treat it? Do you have to, if you got hired on a corporate event tomorrow, would you have to do anything to it? Does it have to be re-airbrushed? I mean, once it hits the ground and it's flopping around and doing stuff, does that chip off paint? Do you have to?
No.
Did she give you any?
She's good.
Yeah. Did she give you any handling tips and care techniques?
Oh no, that thing will last pretty much a lifetime.
That's awesome.
It's just new silicones, it's just new stuff that you use now that it lasts forever. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Even my latex masks, you're supposed to treat them once a year or they'll just rot away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's awesome that your hand. That would be a pain because it looks so great. You'd have to, every corporate show, you have to take it to that lady and get it retouched up. That would be horrible. But that's great. All right, cool.
Yeah, that thing's great, man.
Well, talking about your attention to detail, the reason my wife knows about you is because I brought the phone to her, ran across the house trying to find her, and I said, stop what you're doing. You got to see what Ray's done. And she's like, who? Ray Lum. He's a builder, but now he's been tinkering he's building an Iron Man outfit. You got to see it. Tell me about that Iron Man outfit that you had. I mean, that thing was legit, man.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Iron Man. That my hobby is collecting figures of Avengers. I was always an Avenger fan, and I love Iron Man and the Hulk. So my machinist, we worked on the Tommy Wonder Nest of boxes, which is hardest thing to build in Magic history, and so we were working on that, and we're tinkering around. We solved it. We sold a few, and next thing you know, my stupid mouth said, "Hey man, we solved everything. We get all these parts made, and it's complex. We should do an Iron Man suit." He laughed. He said, "You know what? I can do it." And then if you draw up every part for me, I go, "All right." So one thing led to another, and then we made an Iron Man suit. So it was just a labor of love, you know.
So
it was awesome. It came out great. I loved it. I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing.
I don't know if you want to reveal secrets and tell me if it's legit or not, or maybe I don't want my bubble burst. But it looked like you were just like mask up, mask down, and it went up, it went down, and the eyes lit up. You had the shoulder blades, the shoulders come out with the missiles.
Yep.
All voice commanded, wink, wink. It looked that way. I don't know if it was or not, but my gosh, the detail was amazing.
Well, like I said, you know, like all my props, everything has to be detailed to the T, you know. I'm going to wear that to a comic book convention one day. I'm just waiting for this crap to blow over so I can wear it, and I'm dying to wear that out there.
The whole COVID thing?
Yeah.
Well, it's got its own built-in face mask, so you should be good.
Dude, if you just went down to the Vegas Strip and just put a bucket in front of you, people taking pictures, you'd probably make a fortune.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking of putting a card reader on there so they can PayPal me direct, you know?
Wow.
Just put a credit card in my suit and I can charge it.
That would be awesome, dude. So where can my listeners find that? I mean, because they might be listening to this years from now. That's why I mentioned COVID when you said crap blow over. But where can they find a video of you in your Iron Man suit?
Well, it's on my Facebook. It's on my Facebook page. You just scroll down. Just look for me on Facebook, and then scroll down. You'll see a video of it. So, yeah, I don't. It's just a labor of love because I don't think with Marvel, I don't think I can sell those things. So
Golly.
You can't really advertise it, so
If you could sell them, you would have a line out the door. Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody will pay. I need to at least charge $40,000, maybe. I don't know. I mean, all that work.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's just personal.
Yeah, it was amazing. It brought a smile to my eye. I mean, I said we brought the phone across the living room. We were at a show, and Natalie was setting up the show, and I was just checking my email, and I went to Facebook because I had a message, and that's when I saw it. And I told her to stop what she was doing, and I showed it to you. I remember exactly where we were now. Yep. But so tell the audience about the Tommy Wonder Nest of Boxes and how he didn't want people doing it. He kind of wrote it up wrong.
Oh, that's a make a long story short. That's a great question. Okay, how it got started with Magic is I was a big Tommy Wonder fan. I think in Magic history, there's Tommy Wonder, Channing Pollock, and Norm Nielsen are like the best of the best. Of course, back in the days, and of course Lance Burton also. But I mean, Tommy was, boy, when I mentioned the word genius, if you were next to Tommy, you ever met Tommy Wonder?
No.
Oh, let me tell you about it. Tommy is the word genius doesn't even work for him. He's beyond I think the guy's a super genius. And definitely you put that guy on a pedestal, out of all people in Magic. Because that guy has, I want to be him so much because he's a builder, he's a machinist, and a performer. So when I was younger, somebody say, oh man, you're tinkering with building and performing. You should be Tommy Wonder. Everybody told me that, right? I go, who's this Tommy Wonder guy? As a kid, right? So when he came to the States, I was following him to every convention from IBM to SAM. When he was lecturing, I followed the guy. I pretty much stalked him, right? And then I was the guy in the back room listening to every lecture he had, and I can even do his lecture. That's how much I stalked him, right?
Wow.
So one day at the end of the lecture, I was he's seen me many lectures, but he didn't say nothing. So at the end, I said, I'm going to stay around for this one. And I'm going to talk to him, right? And I was just a punk kid, right? So he was putting away his stuff, and then I walked up to him. I go, hey, Tommy Wonder, my name's Ray Lum, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, I've seen you around. I think way too much. And then he said, yeah, you're an illusionist, right? I go, yeah. And then I said, yeah, I build and I fabricate. And I take apart Thayer stuff and Owen stuff, and I put it back together, and I make it my way. And here's some photos. Remember back then, late 80s and 90s, all you had was a disposable camera. You take the picture, and you had to take it to the drugstore and print it out. So I had like all these photos in my wallet. And I took it out. I go, see, Tommy, look. And I showed him all the pictures. And he goes, good work, kid. He always called me kid.
Wow.
And then he goes, good work. He goes, and then he put his hand on my shoulders. He said, you know what? You look like you're going places. And then he said, have a seat. And here's the great Tommy Wonder. Tell me to have a seat, right? And then he starts talking to me. And then here's the trippy thing. People told me, hey, how'd you get so much time with Tommy? Because he never sits down and talks to people. He hates everybody. I go, what? Wait a minute. What do you mean? So thinking about that time, he sat down and asked me, so what do you get out of my lectures? Since you're at every one of my lectures, I want to hear you, tell me. And then I'm going, and I'm over here reciting all his stuff that he said. And then he said, wow, you retain all my stuff. And I go, yeah, I love your work, man. And then he said to me point blank, Ray, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what do you want to do in the future? And then, punk kid like me, first thing I said out of my mouth, I go, I want to become you, Tommy. I want to be you. I want to do everything you're doing. And then he goes, good, okay. And then that's the first meeting. Then a couple years later, every other convention, we would hang out, have lunch, have dinner. Then he keeps like telling me, hey, one day, I remember this vividly. After his lecture, I hung out, and he opened up his props. He never showed me any of his props until that day. He said, Ray, look at this. And it was a Tommy Wonder nest of boxes, 3. And then I fainted. I said, oh, look at this, And then my mind was just going all over the place. He goes, yeah, this is just the prototype. This is what I use on my tour and everywhere. My filming, everything is this one. This is the only one I built. I go, this is cool, Tommy. And then he said, what do you think? Would you improve it? And my mind was just going, dude. And I said, man, how come this binds here? Because I noticed that the box that goes upwards binds. And I go, I would do it all out of aluminum. Because he did it out of wood and fiberglass. It was kind of funky, But that's how Tommy's stuff is in the beginning, like the prototypes. They're kind of funky. So then he showed me his bird cage, and he showed me like all the other stuff, his pool and his vanishing bird cage. It was amazing. I can't describe the time sitting there looking at all that stuff. So later on, I said, Tommy, like a couple other meetings, I said, Tommy, I want to build your nest of boxes. And he said to me, good luck. I remember him putting his hand on my shoulder. He said, good luck. And I go, hey, Tommy, let me ask you something. In the book, and he just smiled. He had this grin. And I go, in the book, God damn, man. I'm going, where you going when I can, and I told him, I go, I can absorb stuff. When I read stuff, I get it. But, Tommy, I don't get it. In your book, I don't get it. And he laughed. He goes, let me tell you a secret. And this is something that if magicians really read all Tommy's wording in his book, they'll understand what I'm saying. Tommy looked at me and said, Ray, you know, I'm going to tell you right now that when I wrote my book, it's all in riddles. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, Ray, let me tell you, if people are reading my book, and Tommy was he was a guy that is no nonsense. He'll tell you the truth. If he hates you, he'll tell you. If he likes you, he'll love you to death. But he'll tell you, like, and he told me, Ray, you know, if people are reading my shit, I want them to work for my shit. So my shit is in riddles. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
I'm going, oh. Then I start deciphering everything, and then so I have to read everything in there, and then I kind of made my own drawings, and then I'm kind of going, oh, this is what, oh, okay, I got it now. And next thing you know, I took it to machinist. So I gave the machinist Tommy's like whole copy of the book. So I said, hey, let me work out the drawings, and then he goes, no, I got it. I'm going to machine it. I go, no, don't do it. So he machined it off of Tommy's words, right? He goes, look. I'm going, no. Here's my revised drawings. It has to be done this way. He goes, no, in a machinist's point of view, it has to be done this way. I go, no, it's not going to work, because I have to draw it out. So the machinist is like thinking about how it should be made in engineering wise. I go, no, you have to magic engineer it. Here's my drawing, and here's how it should be. And then next thing you know, the machinist machined it his way, and I go, go ahead, machine it your way, what Tommy said, and and then you machine it my way. So next thing you know, like the cam arm and all that, it ended up working smoothly my way. And then when he did it Tommy's way, it was so off, it was so messed up. And I said, see, look at this part here, look at this part. So he said, okay, I got it. So he really, what I'm trying to say is, he really makes you sit there and say, you know what, if you want to make this, you have to re-engineer it to make it work. But I'll give you a little push. It's just like, if you want to become, let's go with martial art.
It sounds like we're coming full circle. That's what I was going to say. You had to suffer for the secret, man.
Exactly.
Yep.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, man. And another thing that Tommy gave me a tip is, which is really crazy, and I can never, up to today, I still sit down and just stare at the space, just trip on what he said to me. He said, Ray, this is years, it's right before he passed, because he never released, he made like prototypes of his stuff, like the nets of boxes, and then he was getting ready to market that. This before he passed, and then before he passed, he said to me, Ray, man, you really getting good at performing and refurbing, because I was refurbing back then. I wasn't really building for everybody back then. So he said, Ray, seems like you want to become a builder. I go, no. I want to become a better performer, but not a builder. And then he said, look, you should learn about everything in building. But here's a tip. And then he said, look, son, here's a tip. And then he said, I don't know if they will do this, but hey, this is my tip for you. Call up every builder. Call up John Gahn, call up Bill Smith, call everybody up and try to work for them. That's how you can become the top builder in the world. And then I'm going, okay. And then I never had the guts to pick up the phone and call up Bill Smith or everybody. I didn't have the guts. I was a kid. I was young. I said, nah, I'm not going to do it. The next thing you know, Tim White is my best friend. Tim White is the original guy with Copperfield, the right-hand guy before Chris Kenner.
Okay.
So it was Tim White and Joni Spina was top two people with David in the beginning. So Tim was a builder also. So make a long story short, I was helping out Tim on all his stuff. Next thing you know, he was doing Copperfield stuff, repairing his stuff, and I was helping out. And then Tim Clothier from Illusion Projects, a builder in Las Vegas.
I have one of his books, at least one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he saw me, and then he said, "Why don't you work with me?" And then I went to work with Illusion Projects. And then next thing you know, Bill Smith saw me working there. He said, "Hey, what are you doing working over there? Why don't you work with me over here?" So I jumped over to Bill Smith. Next thing you know, I went to Mark Michaels, and I went to Owen Magic was next. Owen Magic called me up because he saw me working at Bill Smith. And then so what I'm trying to say is, all that time, Tommy said, call up these guys, work for them, try to take the good and the bad. Then next thing you know, I never had to call. It's just weird, you know.
Yeah, but it's an awesome learning experience. I mean, that's on your boots on the ground, actually in those famous studios, learning from those guys and their techniques and all that magic knowledge that you got.
Yeah, so I end up, those Bill Smith and Illusion Projects, they're the first that worked with Copperfield and Tim White. So I did all David stuff in there. And man, it was just a learning experience, you know. You see the good and the bad, and then you take, like Tommy said, take the good, file that away, and then eliminate the bad. And he was right. So that's why if you ever see my work on my site and you see all the refurbs and the builds, it's all from a combination of good techniques and a little bit of my stuff, my vision in it. So
you took the best from the best of the best, and
exactly.
that's how you make the Lamborghini of magic.
Exactly.
That's
so,
awesome.
Hey, it's working, but you know, it comes with a price, though. You know, a lot of guys think, you can't go into Lamborghini and say, "Oh man, I only have $5,000, but I want that yellow one over there." The Lamborghini dealer tells you, "Oh, that's $800,000." And so all my stuff start off like gumball machine. My lumball machine is $1,500. That's the cheapest. But all my illusions are like $20,000 all the way up to on up. So
well, I know the gumball machine is performed all over the world, but not everybody knows. I didn't know that you invented it. Tell us that story. I think that's pretty neat.
Oh man, there's a lot of controversy in that, but I'll tell you my side, which I have a lot of proof, and the other guy does it. So what happened? I was touring in Japan, 1989. Remember '89? All you had was landlines. You know, you didn't have no cell phones or cameras to document everything. So one day I was touring in Japan, and I had this craving for melon soda. The Japanese have these drinks called melon soda, and I love these things. So I always stocked my hotel room with them. So I told the promoter, I go, "Hey, I want to get some melon soda. Where do they have it here?" He goes, "I'll take you to this Japanese store." So I went to this store, and it's amazing. You know, you've been to Japan where it's like crazy. Everything they do is crazy. Like I walk in this grocery store, and they have a wall full of gumball machines. It's all the way into. It's like a whole wall. I mean, how do you get to that top gumball machine, right?
Right.
So I'm going, God, this is amazing. So I sat there, and I just stared at the wall. And then the promoter goes, hey, Ray, since you're such a genius, why don't you come up with the idea with the gumball machine? So I stood there even more. I said, that is a goddamn great idea. So first thing in my head, being an illusionist, I said, I didn't think about the gumball machine itself, using the original gumball machine. My mind was saying, why don't I build a big giant gumball machine and make a girl appear in there, and she slides out from the chamber where the prize come out. She appears and then she slides out. That was the original idea I had. I said, that'll be a great crystal casket. But then I chucked the idea because I walked by again and I said, wouldn't it be cool if a ring appears as a prize, that the spectator is in the audience, and I make the ring disappear from the audience, in the audience, and it appears in the gumball machine that's on stage. So that was in my mind now. So I was in Japan for a week, and I kept saying, all that whole week, I was up on stage pushing the origami. I remember this vividly. I was pushing the origami, and it hit me. Because I said, man, how am I going to make a ring appear in the gumball machine? So I was turning the origami, and boom, it hit me. And then all of a sudden I froze because the idea was so good. I was excited. And then I forgot about my whole show. Then I go, oh man, so I stumbled through my stuff. And next thing you know, I was just excited to go back to the hotel room. So I went back to the hotel room, and all I had was Dremel tools then, that was your, that's the tool of the tool when you're on tour,
Right.
It's a Dremel tool. That fixes everything, almost. So I had a Dremel tool and a bunch of plastic, and I told the promoter, could you order all kinds of gumball machines that they have around Japan? Because I just want to work on this thing. I had this crazy idea. So what's crazy is I came up with 5 different methods, and they all failed. And I kept saying, damn, how come this is not working? And then next thing you know, I kept trying, and I was the most hated in Japan hotels because they're very clean. So I end up using the Dremel tool with plastic, and that just kicks out all this white dust.
Right.
So all the rooms are all dirty because I have plastic parts all over the floor because my brain was just going 100 miles per hour, going, I want to solve this. I got it. I'm almost to the tip where I'm going to solve it. And then I kept failing until the 8th gumball machine. There's gumball parts all over the place in the hotel. Then one day with gaff tape, I got it to work, right? So I got the machine on stage, and make a long story short, I performed it that night, and all these magicians were in the audience, right? And I had all my illusions there, and then every illusion was like a bass trick, and I was making girls disappear from stage, and they end up in the audience, all these creative routining and all that, and all these magicians were just like eyeing on the gumball machine after I was finished. And then backstage, all these magicians kept saying, man, that was amazing. I'm going, oh, well, what'd you think? The routine where the girl disappears from stage and end up in the audience, was that creative? And no, we like the gumball machine. That really got us. How did you make it disappear and end up in the second prize? I'm lost. I'm going, what? And it was like the prototype, and it looked like crap, man. It barely worked on stage, put it that way. And so all these musicians were saying, oh man, we got to have it. and this is the first time anybody's seen a gumball machine, right? Oh, before that, I want to add that when I first got the idea, I called up Tim White, and he was on the Copperfield tour then, and then he was like, him and Johnny Thompson was the guys that are, you know, if any movement in magic, those are the guys who talk, right? So I asked Tim, I go, hey, anybody using a gumball machine in magic? So I, you know, back then I had to go down to the lobby of the hotel, use their phone, call up Tim, and hopefully I get a message back, right? And then Tim goes, no, that's creative. And let me talk to Johnny Thompson. Johnny will know if anybody even touched a gumball machine. So he talked to Johnny, and Johnny said, no, nobody has ever fooled with that idea. So next thing you know, going back on stage, this illusionist in Japan, I forgot his name. It wasn't a top guy, but he was an illusionist there. He said, hey, here's $3,000. Let me just have yours right there. I go, no, it's embarrassing. There's gap tape on it. It sucks. It's not done yet. It still needs a couple more hours before I can clean it up. He goes, boy, but you got me. It's good. It's good enough. I go, no, I can't sell it to you. And he goes, no, you take my money. I gotta have it. Boy, he put a gun to my head. He took that thing. He was using it. Next thing you know, he showed somebody else. And next thing you know, they came to me. So it's like that old saying, light that match and throw it in a forest, you know?
Right.
You started a wildfire, and next thing you know, everybody comes to you. Oh, I want to buy it. So when I got back to the States, Hocus Pocus seen it. They wanted exclusive. We sold it at Hocus Pocus. Up to date, I think I'm over 320 units sold at $12.50 a pop.
Wow.
Now I'm selling for $1,500 now. So it's an amazing ride, you know, and it's the most knocked off item. Somebody used it. I'm not going to say his name. Somebody used it in FISM, and Tim White called me and said, "Hey, gumball machines using FISM. That's cool." And I'm going, "Oh, that's cool." Next thing you know, I found out it was a knockoff.
Oh man.
And then what's crazy about people, you know, that knocked off my gumball machine, you know, that guy knocked it off. You know, I could rat him out right now, but you know.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
But he turned around and called me up and said, "Hey, you knocked me off," you know, and you go, "Okay," you know. How I got proof, you know. I got Johnny Thompson and Tim White doing the research before I made it, you know, and all of a sudden he went to FISM on 1991, I think, or 90. You know, mine was made in 1989, so it's kind of a coinky-dink, right? That I came up with mine. Next thing you know, he saw it, and then here's the funny thing. I heard his was the first version I came up with, which failed. You know,
right.
Which is just a hole in the back straight to the front door. That's it. That's my first song. But then I said to myself, damn, that's weak, you know. First prize, that's weak, you know.
Yeah.
I can't show the door open. I wanted the spectator come up, open the door, reach inside, make sure there's nothing in that hole. I wanted not the first prize, I wanted the second prize.
Right, yeah.
And then Collector's Workshop came up with theirs. And came out on the third prize, which, you know, the inspiration came from me, but hey, that's good that they went on their own and went with a different method, which is cool, but I'm going, hey, you know, they're not stealing my method, so, but they're not, you know, but, you know, they didn't give me no credit on inspiration, so whatever.
Wow, yeah. Well, that's magic, man.
Yeah,
My trick I did on a Penn and Teller, my phone blew up. I had so many congratulations from guys like you and other Vegas headliners, and Penn and Teller are going to be doing it in their show. But I also had jerk magicians saying, hey, I came up with that 5 years ago and you stole it from me. But I have on record and on video of me performing it in 2013.
That's funny how these guys just come out and justify that. Come on, man.
But I mean, send me a note to say I stole it from them 5 years ago when I've been doing it since 2013. It's ridiculous. And it's like, do I argue with them or just leave it alone? Some of them I wrote back and just said, here's video of me doing it in 2013. And I just left it at that. But I'm not going to argue with people. I had some magician write out to me and say, hey, I'm working on something similar. Can you send me how your trick is done so that I know that I'm not stealing your idea? I'm like, no, I'm selling the trick. No, I'm not giving it to you for free because you say you're working on something similar. It's awful. So, that's just magic, man. Whenever you get something creative, people want to steal it and rip it off and claim it for themselves.
Yeah, magic's funny, man. The bad people really bring me down in the industry, but good people like yourself, good people it just brings me back. Sometimes I get really depressed about when I'm in my shop. The time I get happy is when I have a show and I go down to the strip and work on a trade show or a corporate event. Because the lay people, boy, that's so much energy, you know. But then you come back to the shop, you go when you deal with bad people, it just drains your energy. But then what brings me back is good people, the good people in magic. And there is only a few that are good. But, the bad just brings you down, of all these knockoffs, how people justify knockoffs, people stabbing each other's back. I'm going, come on, man,
See, that's another thing. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so I don't see all that. In my mind, it's a brotherhood of magicians, and it's us against laymen. And I love laymen, so it's not like it's a battle that way. We're together in this. We all want to hold each other up and do the best job we can. So the cutthroat thing, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not in my wheelhouse.
Well, yeah, if you're in Vegas, it's different. I had to deal with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody around the world. And I'm the guy that will tell you, hey, the percentage of good and bad, I say 80% of the industry is pretty much bad, and then the rest are good. And that 20% are the people that keeps me alive and going. And I hate to say, these guys are like Rottweilers. If you don't learn to train them and roll that newspaper up and hit them over the head, man, they're gonna bite you.
You need a trademark, man. You need that bamboo stick in your back.
Exactly.
That's what you need. Hey, dude, anytime you're ever depressed in Vegas, you just give me a call. I'll cheer you up. We'll talk 24 hours a day. It's an open dialogue, man. Hey, we're running out of time. We only have 2 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to say? Your Fool Us thing was fantastic. It was awesome. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. I wanted to talk about you doing it in the COVID season and how crazy and different that was. But we'll get you back on. We'll talk about it next time, man. But if you haven't seen it, they can go on to YouTube and just type in Ray Lum Fool Us. Will it come up that way?
The link is, you just either jump on the link from my Facebook page or on my illusionistraylum.com website. There's a link on that. Or just type in my name, Ray Lum Fool Us, and you see the link.
Dude, you were awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. We're just running out of time, man. Thank you.
Cool.
Stay on the line, man. I'm going to wrap everything up and we'll get going here. KMDfabrication.com, illusionistraylum.com. Dude, you were awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much props on you and your show.
Thanks, dude. All right, talk to you later. Stay on the line, though. Tonight on Jewel TV, they're airing episode 2 from season 2 called April Fool's 2020. Jewel TV is on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, the Jewel TV app, and tons of other places. It's in over 100 million households. All you have to do is look for it. On March 26th at 7 p.m., we'll be performing our full evening Magic and Illusion show live on stage, but zoomed into your living room. This is a fundraising event for a couple different schools, and your purchase will truly help them out. For tickets, check out my link on my event page at wesisley.com. On April 17th at 6:30, we'll be performing at Goochland County Parks and Rec. For tickets, go to goochlandva.us. This will be a live in-person show, and all COVID regulations will be observed. And that's April 17th at 6:30. See you next week. Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by Express Copy and Graphics. Mention promo code Wes Iseli to get 10% off. Their website is expresscopy.com. That's XPRESS-COPY.com. They do it all. Copies, banners, signs, vehicle wraps, promo items, practically anything you need printed, they can do it for you. These guys are great. Check them out. Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled WESISELI.